Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it.
Kevin, what's going on, sir? How are you this evening?
I am doing very well, thank you, Brian. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I can't reach over and like nudge you, man, because you're like here remotely.
Well, thank you actually for giving me the opportunity to go remote, because I know you guys have had it sounds like everybody's okay, but you had it going around, right? Everybody in your household has got something going on.
Got some kind of funk that's been circulating around. So
right.
Don't want to share the love with you.
Right.
Not that kind of love anyways. Keep you germ free. I knock on wood, have remained that way myself. And maybe it's because of my steady diet of
That's it.
adult liquids.
You are killing the germs with that, so you're good. You're gonna stay healthy and strong.
That is my intent.
You're looking good. I was noticing earlier. Yeah, you're looking particularly good on the beard front today.
Well, thank you.
I don't know what you did.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beard oil.
It might be the beard oil. You know,
it's like Graybeard Chronicle beard oil.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to. I tell you what, we're gonna have to release that magic to the public one of these days.
We will.
Graybeard Chronicles beard oil out there. You want your beard to look like this? Yeah, we can hook you up.
We can hook you up. That's right. We can
have to, if your beard's not gray yet, you're gonna have to work on that yourself. Life's gonna do it for you, over time. But our beard oils will not do that. They will not contribute to the graying.
We can get George Bruno to give it a try and see what he thinks. If he thinks it's good, we're good, man.
That's right. Yep.
I know everything about. He knows everything there is to know about beards.
Oh yeah, and he certainly tests a bunch of. I know when he was growing a big beard a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He tested all kinds of beard oils and was giving reviews on them and so on. So yeah,
okay.
He's definitely an expert. I learned a ton about beards watching videos that he's done.
Yeah. Very good.
But hey, before we get too far into this, I got to give a shout out to the jarheads out there that are listening. Now, I realize it's Monday night and we're recording, so it's only the 8th. But as we all know, our video and our podcast audio version releases on Wednesday morning. And This Wednesday morning that this episode is going to release just happens to be the 10th of November, which is the Marine Corps birthday. 246th Marine Corps birthday. So
246, is that what it is?
Yep, 246. So happy birthday to all the Marines that are listening. Enjoy your day and Semper Fi. Here's to you.
Semper Fi.
And if you're listening to this while you're on the way to work this morning, don't feel you need to stop and have a drink to, return that toast that we just did. Wait till you get home today. or
drink a coffee.
Yeah, or maybe you just took the day off to begin with so that you can go out and celebrate with your brothers.
Right. Absolutely.
But anyways, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Marine.
Happy birthday, Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
Little bit older than the Coast Guard. Not much. Maybe a decade. I think it may be less than a decade. Do you know the year it was founded? So I do the math. I don't know.
Oh man, you just put me on the spot here. So shit. I have to do the math. 17. Oh shit,
Might have
17.
been 1775. I think that's Army. I don't
That,
know.
that sounds right. I'm gonna have to do push-ups for not knowing that right off the top of my head.
You probably had it memorized in boot camp, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm good, but don't worry, I won't hold you to it. I won't hold you to it. I'm just happy there is the United States Marine Corps.
Amen to that.
Amen. Amen. Marine Corps has been awesome to this nation for sure.
And will continue to be. No doubt.
And you will continue to be. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So what are we talking about tonight, man? It was your turn, I believe, to select this topic. What are we talking about?
all right. So this topic is as a result of a quote, which, all these things run together in my head, and I can't remember what we've talked about and what we haven't anymore. And there's enough of a pool out there of stuff that we've talked about that the likelihood is high. But there was a quote that I came across probably 6 months ago that just sort of rattles around in the back of my head all the time. And every once in a while it'll pop up.
Right.
And I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically it's this. If you want to achieve something that you've never achieved before, then you've got to do something that you've never done before. And that led to the title of this podcast, which is entitled, Better Results Require Better Strategies. And just an ounce of more information on that. It made me think about how many times in life I have popped my head up and said, wow, here I am again in this same damn spot that I said I would never be in again, or that I didn't want to be in, or that I wanted to somehow improve myself in a way that I wouldn't end up back in this same spot. And here I am again. And how did that happen? Why did that happen? What on earth can I do about it? And so I just started dwelling on it. I thought, you know what? Better results require better strategies. Different results certainly require different strategies. All of that is related to itself, but yeah, anyway, there you go. What do you think?
Man, I think you're spot on. I couldn't agree with you more. I think many of us have in our lives found ourselves in a situation like that where it's like, holy shit, this looks familiar. I think I've done this before. I don't like it. I know how I ended up here now. And, some of us might be slow learners. We might have to do it a couple of 3 times before we get it and realize that, what led up to it, what our thoughts and our behaviors were that got us here. And then, figure out that we're not happy where we ended up, or we're not happy with whatever that result is. And, go back and analyze what contributed to it and change it, create a different strategy so you don't end up there again. But, like I said, it doesn't always happen the first time. Sometimes it's a little bit, we're a little slow on the uptake.
We learn through repetition, and a lot of times where this applies is actually in personal relationships,
right?
And in particular, committed.
When you talk about personal relationships, there's people that never learn.
You're right. Yeah.
It's a cycle, and you can, and you try to, if they happen to be friends of yours, somebody you care about, you try to tell them. And, the bad thing is until they realize it themselves, or are willing to listen to the information that you're sharing with them, and it clicks, man, it's just, it's that cycle over and over again. And it's painful to watch sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's particularly hard with personal relationships, because if you're the one who notices the behavior in another person, and you feel like it's your responsibility as a friend or as a loved one to let them know that's not an easy thing to do,
right?
Because it could damage a relationship. But just for our listeners, think about those times in your personal relationships where you go, wow, here I am again in this situation. Last time I was here, I swore to myself, or I thought about, or the thought crossed my mind that I don't ever want to be back in this position again. I just don't like it. I don't like being here. And all of a sudden here you are. And what happened? Why did that happen? And we the neurons in our brain carve paths in our behavior, and they become habitual, and we keep doing the same things over and over and over again, subconsciously. I'm not talking about consciously, I'm talking about subconsciously.
Right.
And the next thing you know, things happen, and boom, you're right back where you were before. And again, that's just, I mean, it's in every single area of life. And I just thought, well, gosh, well, how do you not do that? How do you not do that? I have some things written down, but what do you think? How do you not do that?
So I think the very first part of it is the fact that you have the wherewithal to ask yourself that question, right?
Amen.
Because that means you're looking within for the solution and not outside of you and playing the victim and blaming it on other people. And that's what happens to a lot of folks is they find themselves in that position again, and they look outside and they blame everybody but themselves, when ultimately they're the one that was there last time. It's, the room is filled with new players and you find yourself in the same scenario again. What are the chances you might actually be the contributing factor?
Right.
Probably really high. And many people don't quite get that, and they're still looking out and blaming everybody else. And until they have the ability to do what you just did by that example and say, how did I end up here? What do I need to do differently? And look within to find the solution, it's not going to change. So that's got to be the first step, I think.
Yep. I agree. Basically you got to admit it. You got to catch it and you got to admit it. I have this issue. I mean, literally just today. It's amazing how the planet like gives you information when you decide you're going to pay attention to an issue. How that issue then all of a sudden comes up all the time. It's like when you buy a new car. Man, I'm going to buy this car. Not very many people have it. It's the coolest car ever. And then what happened?
That is exactly the example that jumped into mind when you first said that about, that's it. That's what happens.
You buy it and they're everywhere.
Yep.
Every freaking where.
Yep. I can't believe that we're this far in and I haven't lit this pipe yet.
I know. I can't either.
You know what it is? That damn Marine Corps question derailed me. And it is 1775. And I don't know why the fuck I even hesitated on that. And there's shit around me that has the answer, but it turns out that I apparently just had a momentary brain block.
Is that right? I knew I was close. 1775.
I'll throw some push-ups out there later to pay for.
I deserve a pat on the back for getting that right, because
yes.
I'll buy you an extra beer if you can tell me what the Coast Guard's birthday is. What year it was launched by Alexander Hamilton.
Well, I guess I'll just be buying my own beer.
All right. 1790, so 15 years. 15-year difference.
Nice.
Not bad.
Nice. All right, here we go.
Right. Anyway, so I was talking to a gentleman today, and he was telling me about he is a competitive long-distance cyclist. I don't even really know what that means. I'm not a cyclist, but I mean, I don't know what 50-mile races or 100-mile races, whatever it is. But he was saying that he just couldn't get himself to the next level of his competitive desire. He was kind of in the lower end of the tier that he was in, and he wanted to be in the upper end of the tier that he was in, and he just wasn't getting there. And then he started going back and reconstructing about what he was doing, and what he found out was he was drinking beer and he was eating junk, and he was just not physically taking care of himself in a way that he needed to. He needed to change the strategy on the nutritional value of the food that he ate and how much he ate and what other components he put into that. But it was a different strategy. And when he changed the strategy, all of a sudden he realized, I mean, it's just such a small thing, but that's a lot of times that's all you need is a small change to get a better strategy.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it is that one little bitty thing that's keeping you from, unlocking the magic, and you just can't see the forest for the trees sometimes.
Yeah, that, we've all heard and probably said many times, the definition of insanity: keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, you're a fool. It's not going to change. And so, so I thought of that, and I thought, okay, where in my own life, I'm dealing with a project right now, and I won't tell you any more about it than that, but I'm dealing with a project, and it seems like I cannot get off the top dead center. And I have tried changing my strategies to try things a little bit differently, but not dramatically. It's just kind of been on the margins.
Right.
And I kind of keep ending up in the same place. And so I have a self conviction here that, wow, Kevin, look at that. That thing's staring you right in the smacking face. You gotta take a look at this and change some strategies. Try to make yourself end up somewhere else. And I'm going to do that.
Good.
So how do you do that? I asked thee.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is you obviously, well, I don't know, I can't say this for sure, but it would seem to me that you're possibly playing in an arena that you haven't really spent a lot of time in before. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, sometimes we try to go about things ourselves because we feel like we're capable of coming up with the answers, and we don't engage enough other people that maybe have already done it, or seek out other resources that are out there that can help, clue us in, right? So, I mean, if I needed a wheel, I'm not going to go try to invent the wheel because, somebody did that a long time ago. And I think sometimes we get too caught up in our own space and looking for the solutions in our own space, and we don't expand and ask others for help and look for, other opportunities like that.
Wow. Yeah, you are exactly right. And this is related to a different issue, but man, you made an issue pop to mind. It's a different project, but probably a similar kind of outcome. Part of the reason I don't want to ask those people who know what they're doing on that particular topic is because I will then reveal to them that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And that's a vulnerable position.
Well, it's funny though, because right when you started talking, I was like, I got one other thing I want to add. And I said, what I was going to say was, it's humility that causes people, and the unwillingness to put themselves in that vulnerable space to own up to the fact that I don't know shit about this, or, right. Because you feel like it's, embarrassing or whatever. But it's also, I'd fire the question back. Well, you can keep doing it the way you've been doing it and see if the result changes.
Right.
Right.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, and I'm not standing again in my glass house tossing rocks at yours, because I've done that myself. Right. I've absolutely been in scenarios where I knew people that had the answer, but I didn't want to acknowledge to them that I didn't have the answer, so I didn't go ask them. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I think part of what you do is you have the discipline to analyze your situation, honestly analyze it. I know that sounds all big and sophisticated. It's not. All I mean by that, by analyzing it, is just run through your head a series of questions about that issue that help get to the root cause of what it is that's going on. And one of the things that I use, and I use this probably nearly every day in my life in some area, I go through we heard as a kid, who, what, when, where, why, how, right? The 5 W's and the H at the end of it, who, what, when, where, why, how. I ask myself those questions. If I'm really struggling with something, it's amazing when you just go through that very simple exercise, how it will reveal new things about whatever issue that is you're dealing with. Yeah. That may be the key to just kind of breaking that loose, just breaking that issue loose in a way that you're thinking about it in a different way that you've never thought about it before. And you go, there you go. And you're right. It might be the who part. Who do I need to talk to about this? Who knows what I'm doing? Who's been there before? Why do I think this is really happening? Why am I afraid to have my behavior change? When am I going to make the decision to change? When am I going to go out and get the resources that I need to have the strategy that is more likely going to be successful? You see what I'm saying? Just that quick. Who, what, when, where, why?
Yeah. And you have to factor time into the mix too, right? So what's the sense of urgency? How much time do you have to sort this out? Because it may help you, or whoever else is dealing with a similar situation, to get over the hurdle of, going to ask somebody that you don't really want to ask because it's an admission of not knowing. Because they learned it somewhere, so you can learn it too. How long is it going to take you? Right? Because if it's going to take you 6 months or 12 months to learn it, and you need to have it done in the next 30 to 60 days, well, that's not going to work.
Right.
You might have to swallow your pride a little bit and go and ask them. Well, just things like that to think about. But it's interesting. I'm fascinated to listen to you talk about the who, what, where, when, and why, because that's exactly the stuff that I've written down in my notes about this whole process, right? So, when you're talking about strategies, I think the first thing you got to go back and, a strategy comes out of a vision, right? Or a goal, something you're trying to achieve or planning to achieve. And I see the vision as the what and the why, right? So what is it that we are setting out to, we or I are setting out to accomplish? And, the why can be used in a whole bunch of questions for yourself, but for me, it's also the why. Why am I doing this? What is it that I'm looking to achieve, and so on. So when we talked about our why before. So for me, that's where that's the vision, right? So it's the what and the why, and also where are we going? You got to plug all those into the vision, and then the strategy part for me fills in the who, when, and how. Because especially if you're dealing with a team, right? Who on your team is best suited for this and so on. You got to identify people's strengths and plug them into the right places. Identify their weaknesses and make damn sure you're not plugging them into the wrong places, because then you're all destined for a problem. And then the when and because timing matters when you're rolling out a strategy. Certain things need to be done at certain times, and you don't want to get this stuff out of order. And then the how of it all.
Wow, I love it. I love what you're saying, and that's not difficult for anybody to do. You have to have the discipline to do it, though, right? Back to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, people who are successful are simply willing to do things that everybody knows what to do.
Right.
Everybody knows what to do, but successful people are the ones who actually have the discipline to do it. It's that simple. Isn't that amazing? To me, it really is mind-blowing sometimes to think about how simple something is. And you just have to decide you're going to do it, and then have the discipline to do it, chip away at it. You're not going to be perfect. Nobody is.
No, and don't get locked into it, right? So don't jump on the back of that freaking bull and, tie yourself to it so you can never get off when the ride starts going bad, right? Make sure that you pay attention. You receive that feedback when things are going the wrong way. Okay, well, we know things that we didn't know when we first rolled this strategy out. Had we known them, we would have done them differently. So now it's time to adjust course a little bit. And you got to work around things that you didn't foresee, because there's always going to be things that you didn't foresee.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you can't roll out of the blocks with all the information that you need, because you don't always hold all the cards.
Right. That's right. And I honestly, not to paint everybody with this broad brush of we're all lazy and keep doing the same things over and over again. But the truth is, if you are in a place you don't want to be, and you've been there before, and you're saying, wow, here I am again, that's too bad. And then you just sort of forget about it and you just move on with your life. Well, guess what? You are going to end up back there again.
Right. That would be that's a boomerang strategy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. Here I am again. Man, that's really sucks. It's awful. I don't like it. I don't like being here. All right, what's next? And you just kind of move on with your life instead of stopping for a minute, thinking about it, going through the who, what, when, where, why, how, coming up with a new strategy and saying, I am not going to end up here again. I'm tired of it. You gotta approach it differently. If you don't, or if you're just blowing on with life and not taking the time to stop and saying, what am I going to do differently? What am I going to commit to? What small change am I going to make in my life this moment, this day, on this issue, that's going to allow me to not be here again? what am I going to do? If you don't do that,
Right.
game
You're
over.
destined to repeat it. Right. If you don't learn from history, you're destined to repeat it.
Destined to repeat it. That's right. Right. Because that is the definition of not learning from it.
Right.
You didn't pay any attention. You didn't study it. So yeah, there you go. And I can think of, for me personally, a number of areas of my life where I am going to go back. I already started, actually. That's why I love doing these podcasts, because it causes me to think about things in my own life that I know I can improve on, and how can I get better at it. And I got to change my strategy. Got to do it. I got to improve my skills in a certain area. Maybe that's it for somebody. You know, they're good at something, but they want to be great at it. Well, how are you gonna go? Why are you just good at it? You know, I like to play golf, but I'm not a great golfer. I'm better than average, I would say.
Right.
But
You're a hell of a lot better than I am.
but I would like to be even better.
Yeah.
But you can't be even better if you play golf once a month. And you
No.
don't ever, you just show up and go play golf. That didn't work. That's the same strategy. So guess what? Next year, at the beginning of the season, I'll be right where I was at the beginning of this season. And it's not going to be, it's just
Right.
same old.
Nobody can do your
strategy.
push-ups for you. You got to do them yourself.
That's right. So anyway, with golf, I don't care, because that's fun. You're outside and enjoying the weather. But on things that do matter to you, you can't do that. I mean, you can, and then you end up, and then you regret, and then you, it's a vicious cycle.
Right. Yep. And then you got to deal with the emotions from that and so on. And that's not good for anybody
Right.
who wants to live in that space.
Right. Exactly. So change your strategies if you want different results. If you ain't doing that, it ain't happening. And don't be upset at yourself or anyone else when you're right back in the same place.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that I got to call out there that is an underlying theme in all of this, right? So when you come up with a vision, you know, or set this goal that you are going to accomplish, then, you know, you've got to have the strategy in place. The biggest thing that you have to have on your side, and you have to have that, you know, maybe nobody else has, is the belief that it's possible, because that's going to carry you through. That's the fuel that's going to get you through when things get tough, right? When you run across these things like this, where, you know, you're not getting the results that you want to get, it's that belief that you have to have, that undying belief that, you know, you're going to make this happen. That will give you the ability to, you know, stand back and reflect and figure out, wait a minute, you know, how do we end up here? How do we, you know, what do we need to change? Is it the way we're thinking, the way we're doing, or what? And
I love it. I love that. I love that. Yeah, because if you don't think you can actually pull it off, guess what?
There's already
You're
enough
right.
people. Yeah, there's already enough people out there that don't think you can do it. You know, don't join them.
Right. Yeah, Henry Ford. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you're right. It's as simple as that.
Exactly right.
So yeah, that was a great ad. Thank you for that. That's it, Brian. That's all I got. That's my ages. That's my passing on the wisdom of the ages on getting better results. Change your
Wisdom
strategy.
of the ages. You know,
Right.
Funny thing about wisdom, you know, many people, I think, are under the misconception that you go through life and you gain wisdom as a result of the time that you spend on earth. The only thing that's guaranteed by the amount of time you spend on earth is the opportunity to gain wisdom. It will be presented, but whether or not you walk away with it, well, that's a whole nother story.
Well said. Yeah, there you go. And guess what? Those who don't take the opportunity, they got to change their strategy so they can get better results.
Yes, indeed.
And it comes full circle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the first adjustment in everyone's strategy that's either watching this or listening to this is to do this. Find that subscribe button on whatever platform that you're listening or watching this on, and make sure you punch that thing. hit that subscribe button so you'll get notified anytime we post a new video, which is weekly. Please do that. We appreciate it. And we greatly appreciate everyone that takes time to listen or watch these, and your feedback is invaluable. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. And Kevin and I talk about it numerous times, and we don't expect any feedback. So it's a gift when somebody takes the time to do that. So I think that's pretty cool, and I certainly appreciate it.
I love that you said that. You're right. We don't expect feedback, but when you do get it, man, last week we got a note from a woman who paid attention, took notes, and sent us.
Oh, it's like she was attending a class.
Right.
I mean, really, she took notes like there's going to be an exam. It was outstanding, the feedback on our one of the videos on YouTube. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I read her notes, and I said, my goodness, that's good stuff. Who was talking about that stuff? Oh,
right.
Wait a minute. That was
like, wow, we said all that? Holy shit.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Brian.
All right, sir. Well, I apologize for not being in your physical presence this evening, but remote has to work sometimes, and we can still get the content out there. So thanks for your flexibility.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I didn't need to complicate your life or your family's life by being there and all that's going on, and I appreciate it. So this is great. Technology makes this easy, and it's good. It's high quality.
Comfortable, as far as you know.
Yeah.
I don't even have pants on tonight.
I'm not going to ask you to stand up. I'm
not going to volunteer to.
Very good. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you again for a great topic, man. Enjoyed the discussion. And as we always say, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, make sure between this podcast and the next, you take time to enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.